What's up? You know, it's going to be a great live video if the words right before I press the go live button are, I don't know if this is a great idea, but let's go ahead and do it anyway. So here we are. I just had a lot of thoughts on my mind, and I'm like, man, I just want to make a little Facebook post. I just want to share this with somebody. I got in a couple conversations this morning. There's so many things on my mind, and I just thought I'm just going to hit the live button and go. So here we are. First of all, I just have to say thank you so much for everybody that donated, everybody that got involved, reposted something to help with Andy Hopper's political campaign, because you guys are amazing. And he came in dead last. And I could not be more proud of him and everybody involved in this whole thing. And I want to tell you why. Because at the same time the election results are coming in for that, the presidential debate was going on, and at the same time we're doing all that, I am bringing on several new agents, and I'm asking them to jump through all sorts of hoops before we start training. And I'm training agents one-on-one, and I've just got all these different things that are happening. And it's really interesting how the different dynamics in all these different areas kind of come together. And there's some common messages and themes throughout all this stuff. But the first thing I just want to say is, again, thank you to everybody. The second thing is I want to acknowledge why I went down the path to support Andy Hopper, and dear God, for the love of everybody, why I decided to tiptoed into the political arena just a little bit. And here's what it is. I hate politics. This has confirmed it over and over again. I hate politics. Hate it. It's toxic. It's toxic. The federal stage is one thing, but man, it's just not a good environment for a person with a good soul. However, people with good souls must get involved. And here's the only reason why I did anything. It's because I'm out there helping so many people, and I hear so many people's pain. It's overwhelming. And I don't know anybody else that knows how the property tax system, or anybody that has the knowledge that I have, or the ability to be able to help as many people. And so whenever I have information about how I can help people, I feel an obligation to step out there and do it. And so here's the thing. When we're dealing with property taxes, nobody wants to pay more than they have to pay. We're all thankful for the service, for the legitimate services that we get from our state, from our local community, from our country. We're all thankful for the greatness that we get. We just don't want all the stuff we don't want, right? So there's a lot of disagreement on what we should and shouldn't get, what our tax money should go for, but we all can agree we don't want to pay more than we have to. So here's the thing. We can make a change on three different levels. One is the personal level, and that's what we've been focusing on. You've got to protest, okay? And that's a Band-Aid. And next year they're going to raise the value up again. And so that comes back every single year. So if you want to see lasting change, you got to elevate it to the next level, which is the local level. And on that level, it's getting involved in the local meetings with the cities and the school boards and that sort of thing. And you've got to get them to make sure that they're adopting a lower budget, so we don't have to generate as much money. That's one way you can have lasting change on some level. But the other thing is making sure that the people that are elected into these positions are the people that share the values, to be a little bit more conservative with them, with your money, to make sure they're not out there just throwing it out the window. And you can do that at school board, city council, and you can do that at the appraisal district. We've got to make sure the appraisal district is run well. And so that's the reason why I got involved with that. Now, here's the other thing. That's still kind of a Band-Aid fix, because as long as the rules exist for them to keep jacking up our values and our payments, then they're going to keep doing it. They're going to keep doing it. And so there is no permanent solution unless you change the laws. We have to change the laws. It's not right. The laws are broken. It's a messed up system. They weren't designed for this many Californians moving into Texas. This just wasn't designed for that. So everybody, and the economy has in housing has just been phenomenal. That we've got a tremendous housing shortage still. By the way, if you have a house you need to sell, this is the time to put it on the market. This is it. There are so many people looking to buy. and not enough houses. So that's a good news for sellers. And while interest rates are still low, everybody wins. So holler at us. We can help you with that. It's going to come. That theme is going to come. I'm going to come right back to it here in a minute. But here's the thing. Unless we change the laws, nothing's going to happen. So unfortunately, the people that change the laws are our legislators. Those are politicians. There's no avoiding this. If you want something to change, you have to change the laws. And the laws are not going to change unless the politicians do something about it. And unfortunately, the politicians that we've had, on large part, haven't done enough. There are a select few that have done something. Well, I got a call. Here's what happened. One day, I'm in my office. I got a report from Amanda, one of my assistants, and I get a daily report of everything that everybody does in the company. It's the only way I'm able to manage everything that's going on. So she sends me her daily report, and on the report it says, "Help Andy, her husband, with his Senate campaign." And I'm like, "What?" All right. So I sent Amanda an email. I said, "Hey, I got to talk to Andy about this." And then Andy called me, and he's like, "Hey, man." He's like, "Look, we've talked a bunch of times. I met Andy a long, long time ago at church." And he's like, "Hey, man, we have to fix this property tax issue." And then since I am in the mix, he turns to me and he says, "I need your help figuring out what would be the most effective changes to help solve this problem." And I said, "How about we lower the amount of annual increase down to from 10% down to 5%? And how about we get an exemption on all residential property?" And he's like, "Yeah, that sounds great." I turn around and the exact words that I said are now on his website. The bullet points are right there. And I know Andy is a software engineer. He's not a politician, and he does what he says he's going to do. His political ambitions aren't to keep climbing the ranks and to keep making friends with people to keep this thing going. And so I trust him, and I'm like, "All right, man, if you're going to do that, I'm going to support you because I know who you are." And I love Texas, and he loves Texas. And it was like we resonated on multiple levels. And so here I am. What am I going to do with that? I'm going to try to get involved so that we can make some permanent change. And he's a guy that could help. And even though he wasn't in our area, if he passes a law, it's going to affect everybody in the state of Texas. And we need more politicians like him. But I really am not interested in politics at all. In fact, every time I engage with it, I see that it's a toxic atmosphere. So here's what I've learned. That election was 3 weeks. Virtually nobody knew Andy before he started. Okay. And it was what it was. He came in dead last, but it was an experience. He was brave enough to stick his neck out there and endure insults and work his tail off and do what he could do so that he was standing behind his values to make a difference. And here's what I know. The two people that raised well over $1 million are the only two people that got a significant number of votes. Those are the only two winners. Okay. And so now they're going to be in a runoff, and Andy's not one of them. So here's what I'm reflecting on. I'm reflecting on, number one, every person in that political campaign had a reputation. They have a reputation, and tons of people on the inside know the reputation. But that's one subject. The other subject is the rules of the game. The rules of the game are this: whether we like it or not, the people with the money are the winners. That's what's happened. The people with a ton of money are the ones at the top, and they're the ones that are the winners. And your reputation, how good of a person you are, and whether you're a winner are two separate topics. They could be one person could be a winner and be a good person, but you can also be a winner and not be a good person. So that's what I've learned. There are rules to the game, and the rules are, if you want to win in politics or virtually in a lot of different ways, the rule is you have to raise the money. And that's it. Now, once the reputation gets going, then you get friends, and the friends that are willing to donate will donate, and your reputation precedes you. And the people that have the money, they want to support people with a good reputation. So it does all go hand in hand. But if the good people don't recognize that the rules of the game, then the good people won't win. If the bad people figure out the rules of the game, then the bad people can win. And so even though that atmosphere is toxic, good people must still be involved and must get involved and must figure out the rules of the game and must accept it and must go out there and kick butt and take names. So those are my reflections on that end of things. And I couldn't be more proud of Andy. I couldn't be more thankful of the people that supported him. Andy is a good guy, and he's got so much support, and he did a phenomenal job for the short amount of time of never having any political experience. And he stood by his convictions, and he is not a guy that I believe politics would change. And so I just could only hope that he has more political aspirations. And I hope that we have some politicians that will step up. And whether you're Democrat or Republican, I could care less. I care about your values more than anything else. That's all I care about. And I care about people that are going to stand up, stand behind their values, face people and act and do good for people. And I just hope more good people will embrace the rules of the game and win, because I'm seeing the real day-to-day impact of property taxes. That's my one thing that I've seen a bunch of, right? I see that, but I know that there's so many different issues, and I know that that's not the only issue that a politician has to support, and on and on and on. I'm going to leave politics behind because it makes me sick, but those are my reflections. So there you have it. Here's the other thing. It comes back to money. It comes back to money. You cannot get the foothold doing that or doing a lot of different things unless you have backing. And so I'm just so thankful to be in an industry where I can pour out my heart and soul and talents into serving people and making a real impact in a time of someone's life when somebody is moving. And you know, it's not everything to somebody, but everybody always remembers the realtor. And when you get to play a role in someone's life during a transitional moment like that, it's really neat. And you get to share a moment with somebody that has a lasting impact and help them find the house that they're gonna raise a family in. And it's a special thing. And so as I wake up and I think, and I start realizing, hey, it's the rules of the game are you've got to have money to send out the mailers and put the signs in the yard and do all the political things that politicians do. I'm just so thankful to be able to serve people and make a difference in people's lives on that level, and to be able to help folks. And it's just really rewarding. And so as I'm bringing on agents right now, we're about to start training and we're about to start all this stuff. I'm asking agents I don't just bring on anybody. The people have to fill out a ridiculous assessment. We have interviews. We have all sorts of stuff that people have to do before I say, yes, I would feel comfortable bringing you into training and you potentially representing me and representing this company. And so I've just been able to see, you know, everybody's mentality doing this. And I just, it's just also a really refreshing thing to see people that are willing to go out and do hard work because they want to make a difference in people's lives, because I've run across some really phenomenal folks. Hey, so Andy is commenting here. There's a couple comments. I'm going to go ahead and read the comments, and I'm going to hop off of here. I just wanted to get on and share my thoughts, because this whole political thing is just weird, man. It's a weird environment. It unfortunately it's necessary. Stacy, what's up? Good morning. What's up, Chandler? Good to see you. Love the name. Blake says, whatever you do, I'll vote with you. We own 50 properties, and I feel like tax appraisals are predatory. That's right, Blake. And here's the thing. If you own 50 properties, then you own 50 properties that cannot get a homestead exemption and can't get any exemption of any kind. And so they're going to stick it to you. We've got to get an exemption on all residential property. And if you know a politician, that's the thing to do, is ask them, would you, I'm pressing for two things. Number one, would you support decreasing the cap from 10% down to 5% on the homestead exemption? That's number one. Number two is you want to ask your politician, would you support a cap on the amount of annual increase of the value, the annual increase of the value for all residential property? That's what you've got to do. And we need to get those two things passed. Andy says, Chandler, thank you for all your help and support in September. You're a good friend, and I learned a lot from you. May God bless you, Texas. I'll tell you what, Andy, man, you inspired me, and you inspired a lot of people. And I was debating on calling you up and saying, hey, man, let me interview you as a kind of a reflections thing. And then honestly, but then my reflection is, the rules of the game are got to have money. And I'm like, today I am inspired to go out there and kick butt and take names and go help a bunch of people and generate some revenue so that we can, so that good guys can win the game. Because somebody that's willing to be brave and stand up, stand behind their values and fight for what they believe in, like Andy, they need financial support, and that's the bottom line. So that means good people need to go out there and make a ton of money and give it to the things that they want. Make investments into the people and the companies and the causes that you support. And I can also say this: when a nonprofit or a politician or a cause of any kind says any donation helps, whether it's $5 or $10. That is absolutely true. I've seen it time and time again, whether I'm feeding homeless people or I got a friend named Frank that's out there always just helping people, or a friend named Gerald, friend named CJ. They're always out there just helping people. And the donations of $5 goes so far. So whatever you support, stand behind it, invest in the people, invest in the causes, because even the smallest donations help. So BB says, good morning. This is great to be able to get to know your company and know so much more about your personal matter. My husband and I live in South Carolina, are currently working with one of your agents. He's been great. Awesome. SC. I'm thinking SC is different. Who knows? Well, whatever. Chandler says, I still want to become part of a realtor with you. Hey, well, Chandler, man, you're going to get a lot of benefit for just wearing the name. If we work together, if they say, if somebody called me, if we work together and somebody called me and said, hey, I want to talk to Chandler, I'll be like, yeah, sure. Let me transfer that call over to Chandler. That would be great. Hey, y'all have a great day. I just want to say this. One more thing is, the political environment is toxic. It is necessary. But I also just want to give you a word that whenever you have somebody like Andy Hopper or like they're good people, it's important to turn the TV off, to get out of the advertisements, to get out of the muck and the mire on Facebook of people just fighting to win. It's horrible. People out there just fighting to win. It's toxic. What we need to do is talk to people, spend time with family, get off social media, and get the political stuff out, and be renewed by the goodness in people. And that only comes through personal relationships. And for me personally, it comes from Jesus Christ. It comes from going to church and seeing the folks that I love and standing behind good causes and the things that I believe in that matter more to me than just serving my own needs and that sort of thing. And with that, I'm going to say one last thing is, at the same time, all that stuff is true. The lasting message is there are rules to the game, and good people have to embrace the rules of the game so that the good people will win. And the rules of the political game, of the business game, of so many games is we got to go out there and generate some revenue. We got to kick some butt. So if you need a realtor, we can help. You can count on us. You won't find a better realtor out there, and you won't find a better team to help you serve your to help you buy or sell a house. We got 5 houses under contract this past weekend, and we got all of our listings under contract. And there are so many buyers out there looking. If you're thinking about selling, now is the time to do it. Give me a call. Whenever you support us and we help you, then we can go out there and help a whole lot more people. And that's the way this thing goes. So there you have it. All right. Y'all have a great day. Over and out. Peace. Glad I went live, but I can't turn the darn thing off. I'm going to be live all